Why aren't my webinars converting in 2026? A lot of times when people come to us, there's 3 big things that we like to identify and point to as to why those webinars aren't working.
Let's break it down, man. Let's do like a whole kind of like masterclass. Like I want people to be able to just watch this video and be like, I got a really good idea of what it could be.
Yeah, be able to pinpoint exactly what's going on. The first issue that happens when people do webinars is they have the wrong messaging.
The messaging is, I want you guys to think about the messaging as the bait that you're using, right? And we always say, bait the hook to suit the fish. So if you're trying to catch a big old whale, you're probably not gonna put like a little shrimp on there.
No.
Right? It's not gonna make any sense, right? You're gonna end up throwing the shrimp out there and you're gonna catch all these little stupid fish
For sure.
that you don't even want. Think about the words that you're putting in your ads, the words that you're putting on your landing page. Every word is like bait.
100%. So like if you're creating an ad right now, right? And your goal is to get high level entrepreneurs to attend your webinar, then a big mistake that I see people make is they're saying, hey, if you're struggling to make sales in your business, and they start the ad like that, right? And that word struggle isn't something that high level entrepreneurs associate with.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
You're gonna attract struggle people.
You're going to attract struggle people, right? And again, and we said this in past videos, but with meta ads, messaging is the new targeting. So when you're creating ads and you're starting with, hey, are you an entrepreneur that's struggling to grow your business? Or if you're someone who's struggling to make sales,
Right.
automatically Meta's like, all right, cool.
Yeah.
Struggling to make sales. Let me go out and find the people that have indicated they're struggling to make
Dude,
sales.
it's easy to do that too, though. That's
Yeah.
the thing is, what we've made this mistake.
Absolutely.
We've been doing webinars for years and years, and probably what, 7, 8 years at this point. And in the very, very beginning, when we first started, we used those words too.
Yep.
And then we'd look at each other like, why are all these broke people here?
Exactly.
You brought them here.
That's very important because you might be sitting here doing webinars and you might be thinking, yo, I'm doing everything right. I'm doing what the gurus told me to do and it's not working. Well, let's get to the meat and potatoes of it. It's the messaging. And the way that you start your ad is extremely important, because when you start your ad, you need to be calling out the target audience of people that you want the ad to go after. So call them out, right? If you want to target struggling entrepreneurs, say that.
Right.
If you want to target fishers in Mississippi, say, hey, are you a fisher in Mississippi? Say that, right?
There's like a famous quote somewhere that said, like, the best way to sell a horse sometimes is to just say horse for sale. Right?
Keep it simple.
Sometimes you just got to keep it simple. But you know, a lot of times when people are in this predicament where they're doing webinars and people either aren't showing up or it's the wrong people inside the webinar, people don't know what to do because they're trying to diagnose their own problems. And it's very difficult for you to diagnose your own problems, right? It's hard to read the label when you're inside the jar. If you're inside the jar, it's like, well, I don't know what my problem, I can't see the label. So that's why having someone on the outside to look in on your situation can easily tell you, this is what the label says.
100%.
AKA, this is why your webinar is not converting. I can see it very, very clearly. It's kind of like if you ever had a friend who was with a girl who was crazy, right? And he comes to you and he's like, man, I don't know what's going on in my relationship, man. It's like, I can't figure it out. And you're like, bro, she's crazy. That's what it is, right?
But he don't see it.
But he don't see it because he's so zoomed into the relationship. He's in the eye of the storm. And that's exactly what a lot of people are going through right now. They're in their own business and they can't even see.
It's hard to identify. Yeah. And I think the best way to find the right things to say is by tapping into your target audience and what their biggest pain points are and desires. Because people sometimes assume that their target audience has these type of problems. Or maybe you saw somebody else run an ad that might be in your niche and you're like, oh, let me just say what they said.
Right.
But if you don't get
Kind of funnel hack.
Exactly. But if you don't get a good dial on what your target audience is really saying,
Right.
you're going to be in trouble. Now, there's ways to extract that information. Nowadays, we have AI, right? We could go Claude, do some deep research, figure that out. Perplexity, right? We could do those things. If you have a community already, an existing community, one good way to do it is to just ask them.
Yeah, poll
them, do an Instagram story.
Literally, like, make it very simple too. Make it very clear. What is the single biggest struggle or single biggest challenge that you have with this particular thing?
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Don't ask for, hey, what's the top 5 thing? No, ask for the single biggest challenge that you're having with this particular problem and let people tell you,
Yep.
right? Because great marketing is just an echo of your customer feedback.
So-
So all you do is you ask the market, what's the problem? The market tells you the problem, you echo it back to them in your marketing, and then you attract more of those types of people.
And the same thing goes for your ad copy, right? The words that you're typing out in the ad, they go above the ad. The same thing. Call out your target audience. When we were doing our local events in Melbourne and Ocala, we said, hey, attention Ocala business owners, attention Melbourne business owners. That's the text that we use, and automatically Meta's like, okay, cool. Let's target people who own businesses in this area, right? So that's a big mistake that people make when it comes to the ad. Now, another thing that people fail to do a lot of times in their ad is have a strong call to action. You have to tell people what to do. Even though Meta has the learn more button and all those things, don't just be reliant upon that. Actually have that call to action inside of your video and in the text, because that's going to help drive the right types of traffic to the next level, which is the landing page.
Landing page, which is where the messaging continues.
Yep.
So this is also a really big place where people mess up. They drop the ball. Even if you have great ads, then the people click on the ads, off the ads, and they go to the landing page, and then the landing page feels like they got like transported to a completely different universe.
They got okey doked.
Yeah, they got okey doke. Like, what is this? This doesn't feel the same at all. There's no congruency. We want things to feel the same as people run through your funnel. It needs to feel the same. The messaging is a big part of it, right? Making sure that your headline, your sub-headline, your call to actions, your body, your social proof, everything needs to align with the person you're trying to attract. If it's off, you're going to attract the wrong people and you're going to repel the right people.
Yep.
All the people who should be that you want in your webinar, they're seeing your landing page, but they're like, oh, this isn't for me. This can't be for me.
Yeah.
He's talking about struggling, this and that.
It's specific words. Your copy could be amazing on the page, but if you have that one specific word that just attracts cheapo people,
That's it.
You ain't gonna make no money.
Right. So then you're gonna be one of those people who do webinars and you're complaining that, you know, no one has any money and the world's broke and we're going through a recession and no one buys from webinars and webinars don't work. You're gonna be one of those people. Okay, so we got messaging is one particular thing that could be attracting the wrong people to begin with. So that's one thing. The second thing is the presentation itself, right? So once you have people in your webinar, it's one thing to get people in, but now you got them in, you got their attention, you need to make sure that you have a presentation that's gonna persuade and that's gonna do its job. And I think a lot of people drop the ball on this part right here.
Yeah.
Because they're not trained, right?
Yeah, and I know for us, like, we're naturally like teachers at heart. Like, I love to teach. My dad is a teacher, right? So like, I love to teach. And the first times that we did a webinar, when we were in the music game, and I'll never forget, the first webinar we did was for music artists. And I won't forget like how deep we went into teaching ads on the webinar, and we didn't get many people to raise their hand. I don't think we got anybody to raise their hand, right? But
we talked everybody out of it.
We talked everybody out of it, and that's what people do when they try to teach, right? Because with your webinar presentation, don't think that your presentation is all about you teaching someone how to do the thing,
right?
Because that's not it. And if you do that, what's going to happen is you're going to have a bunch of people who are like, okay, so all I got to do is exactly what you said and I can get those results.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what you're saying. Do exactly what I say and you'll get these results. And that's what they're going to do. They're going to take what you said, they're going to go off and do it. And that's honestly creating harm to them because they're going to go off and do it incorrectly.
They're going to miss a piece.
Yep.
And that little missing piece is going to break, and that's going to cause them to not get results. Or the other part of it, if they do go off and take your stuff and go off and use it, great. Hallelujah. That's amazing. You did good for the world. But the other thing that happens when you teach too much is like you're telling people how much work it's going to be before they're even completely understanding the outcome itself, like the desired outcome. When they see all the work that needs to be done, they might talk themselves out of it because like, oh, that's what we got to do? I ain't trying to do all that. That sounds like a lot. So teaching too much is a big one. Russell Brunson always called it techno babble. I love that. It's literally you're talking about all these super crazy terms and all these really technical big words and all this stuff, and you think you sound smart, but all you're doing is talking your audience out of buying anything.
Very unattractive.
It is. Simplicity is the ultimate sophistication. If you can't explain something simply so that like a third grader can understand it, then that means you don't understand it well enough.
Mm-hmm.
What else do we think about presentation?
Yeah, presentation wise, it's very important to start with your story. Hey, look at where I'm at now. These are all my accolades. This is what I've done. These are the people that I've helped. But it wasn't always like that.
Right.
It actually started here with me in the pits of hell, struggling. You know what I'm saying? And
Just like you.
right.
I was just like you.
I was just like you. And that's the key that I was going to get at. You want to form some sort of relatability with the audience for them to know that, oh, okay, they were just like me. I could get to their level eventually. This is giving me the confidence to see that they too started in the pits and they took it up to the sky, right? So building that level of relatability is extremely important, but it also positions you as an authority because now you're saying, hey, look at me, look at the things I've done, look at the people that I've helped, right? So that's another one.
Yep. I think the other one, and we can honestly go here for like an hour probably just on this. But another one I think is a big lever to pull is the pain angle. I think that's probably one of the bigger ones. Is bigger mistakes that we made probably earlier on doing webinars is I'm like, we're the same in a sense where we are very encouraging guys, right? I'm very empowering. I'm very encouraging. I'm like, bro, you got this. Hoorah, bro.
Yeah.
I would do such a good job of that they felt like they didn't need me at all. Right?
Yeah.
At the end of the webinar, they're like, you're right. I do got this. I don't need anybody, right? Buy. And no one would buy anything. And so I was doing such a good job of encouraging them that they would leave without buying anything. And that, again, like you said earlier, that's doing them a disservice because if they don't take me up on my offer, they're less likely to get the result.
Let me break down real quick what that looks like though, that encouragement.
Yeah.
It's, hey, type it's easy in the chat. Hey, type you got this in the chat.
Yeah.
Type I can do this in the chat. Now, a little bit of that is okay.
Yes, it is.
But if your whole webinar is centered around, hey, I got this, I can do this. We want them to feel that they can do it, but the whole point of a webinar is for them to feel like they can do it with your help. And that's the key. But keep going.
No, so you have to make sure that you're making it very, very known that if you tried it, you can do this, and it is possible, and it's the most amazing thing ever since sliced bread. But if you do this the wrong way, the pain of you messing up is way worse. You got to really twist the knife on that, right? And that's one of the things that when we started dialing in our webinar, really, and our conversion rate really started cranking up, it's when we started really twisting the knife and started not exaggerating the pain, but really letting them know how much negative consequences there are to doing this the wrong way, you know? Because pain is a great motivator, right? It's the greatest.
It's the ultimate motivator.
It's the ultimate motivator, right?
Right.
If I can tell you to go to the dentist because you can have great healthy teeth, but if you got a pain in your molar or your mouth is on fire, no one's got to tell you to go to the dentist. You're gonna get yourself up out of the chair.
You're gonna go. You might have been neglecting the dentist for 10 years. That joint start bothering you
immediately.
Local dentist.
Dentist near me.
I don't even care if they're. I don't care if they got unsterile needles. I'm going to get out of this pain.
Get out of this pain.
Yeah.
And so that's what you want people to feel like when they're on your webinar or your virtual event. Again, this applies to any kind of virtual event. Webinars, workshops, challenges, doesn't matter. Same principle applies. Because as soon as they start feeling that pain, that's what we call the pain gap. That pain gap creates the tension that they need to fulfill by movement.
Yeah.
Right? When I feel that tension, it's like I got to get out of this tension by moving, right?
Yeah.
But as soon as I feel comfortable and I got this, now I'm laid back in my chair again. I don't have to take any action.
It's not attractive
because I'm comfortable, right? And nobody moves when they're comfortable.
Yeah. Pain, I always like to say this, pain is attractive.
Yes, it is.
It doesn't sound, that sounds like a crazy sentence to say, but it's the truth.
Yeah.
If you can get someone to feel pain, they are going to be more attracted to finding the solution. And if you're the person that can lead them to the solution, then they're going to become more attracted to you.
Because
Yeah.
if you try to do this and you're not trained properly and you don't really know the right ways to frame that pain, then it's gonna be very obvious what you're
It's
doing.
gonna sound like you're trying to pitch.
You're,
You
you're
know.
gonna sound like a salesman. You're gonna
Yeah.
have that commission breath.
Mhm.
Everybody's gonna be like, "Oh God, this sucks. I hate webinars."
Yeah.
And you're and if you do that, you're the reason why people don't like joining webinars.
Exactly. Exactly.
Because when people join our webinars, they love it. They're walking away with a fresh perspective. Their eyes are open. They're learning stuff. Like the energy's up.
Yep.
When webinars are done right, you are serving the world
100%.
for real. But if you do it the wrong way by yourself, you sound like a traveling car salesman, and now you're turning off everybody, right? You're
Yeah.
turning off the whole market
Yeah. Yeah.
from the thing. So, presentation, that's another big one. The third one, me personally, I think this is probably the most important one, the biggest one, and it is the topic itself, the topic
Yeah.
of your virtual event. There's a lot going on around the idea of, okay, I want to increase the quality of my webinar attendees. So one thing that a lot of people say to do is, well, if you want to get higher quality people, you do what? Charge for the webinar, right?
Oh, yeah.
You know
I
what
mean,
I'm
yeah, people do say that, and I don't believe that.
This is what I'm saying. A lot of people say, okay, well, and I do subscribe to the idea of like people who pay attention.
For sure.
For sure. If you pay, you pay attention. If you pay a little, you pay a little attention, take a little action, get a little results.
Mhm.
If you pay a lot, then you pay a lot of attention and you take a lot of action, you get a lot of results. So I do think that that's true to a certain degree.
To a certain degree.
But with webinars, a lot of people are afraid of like, okay, I don't want to do free webinars because I'm just attracting people who want free stuff. But me personally, I don't think that the ticket price determines the quality of the lead. I think the topic determines the quality of the lead.
I agree.
And I'll give you an example. Let's say you're trying to attract a higher level business owner or whatever, and you're like, okay, I'm gonna do a webinar and I'm gonna charge $100 to join this webinar
Mhm.
because that's what they said. People who pay, they're higher quality people. So charge $100 for this webinar, but the title of the webinar is how to start your LLC the right way. Just the topic alone is going to attract a lower quality person. Not because they paid $100 to be there, but someone who's already started their business, I'm not looking for a webinar on how to start my LLC. I already did that 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Right? So the topic itself is a really, really big thing that you need to make sure that you're picking your topic properly, right? Even if you charge.
That's very true.
And now on the flip side of this, let's say all right, cool. I want to do a free webinar and I still want to attract high level people. Well, then make sure that the topic of your webinar is something that your ideal client actually cares about, right?
Mhm.
Like for instance, right now, if there was a webinar, if someone texts me with a webinar right now, it was free to join, but it showed me all the legal loopholes on how to save more money on taxes. So I didn't have to spend so much, pay the IRS or something like that. Dude, I'm joining that webinar,
Mhm.
even if it's free.
Yeah, it's gonna attract a higher level
Right.
of person.
That's what I'm saying. So the topic itself, I think, is probably one of the biggest levers you can pull.
Topic is very important. Actually, that reminds me of one of our students we had last year who was running a webinar, and this was a free webinar, mind you, but the topic was so off that he couldn't even get webinar registrations, period. We switched the wording slightly. All of a sudden, not only does he get more people on the webinar, but now he starts converting on the webinars with a simple switch. It's very interesting with your topic. Sometimes you have to kind of tweak the topic, and it could just be that number that you're saying. If you want to attract a higher quality client, it could just be a number that you're saying that is telling certain people.
Split testing is so important.
100%.
That's a really, really big thing that a lot of people don't do. It's actually kind of surprising to me how many people don't split test their headlines.
Yeah, because nobody really knows.
Nobody knows.
Yeah.
No, even us, even experts, the best webinar people in salespeople in the world, nobody really knows.
Mhm.
They're going to get pretty close because they've done this so many times, but no one actually knows. So split testing is important, right? Because if you guys wouldn't have split tested that,
Wouldn't have known.
he'd still be over
He
there.
would have still been like, bro, no, 500K,
Yeah.
that's what I want,
Yeah.
pounding the table, right? But when he started to understand, okay, it is more about the messaging, than anything else. And we got a good result because he started closing on his webinar. So the messaging, the topic, that's very important.
It's all, if you think about it, it's all packaging,
Mm-hmm.
you know? And the packaging that you use is going to determine whether people want to open up that present or not.
Yep.
Right? If I give you 2 different boxes, one has got this beautiful packaging and wrapping and a bow on it and it's shiny and it smells good. And then I got one that's like this busted cardboard box that's got oil stains on it.
Yeah.
Like, which one are you going to want to open?
You taking the beautiful package
Right.
every time.
Now, it has nothing to do with what's inside.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing to do with it, right?
I'd rather try my luck on the good looking one.
Exactly. I
Yeah.
can have the same thing in each one, but you're going to more likely go with this one just because of the way that it looks on the outside.
So that's a good point, because ultimately, when it comes to webinars, you have to feed into people's expectations. And if you show your brand in a negative light or in a lower light and you don't package it up the right way, then their expectations of what you have to offer on the other end are going to be very low, so they're way less likely to attend. So it's about their feeding into the customer's expectation of what it could be.
It's like, man, there's so much psychology
Yeah.
that goes into this. It's one of my favorite things to like study when I'm not studying marketing. I like to look at psychology and different psychology principles. One of my favorite ones is the framing effect.
Mm-hmm.
The framing effect basically says the way that you frame the fact is more important than the fact itself.
Yep.
Right? Attorneys and lawyers know this,
Mhm.
right? They know, like, the fact is the fact, but the way that you frame it, position it, and present it matters more than the actual fact,
Yeah.
right? So what you teach during your webinar is what you teach during your webinar, but the way that you present it and package it to the world is going to make all the difference whether people sign up or not, right?
Yeah.
So if anything, yes, you got to be really good at what you do. You got to be really good at presenting on your webinar, and you got to give value, but you got to be really good at packaging that webinar. Because if you don't package that webinar properly, ain't nobody going to beat
Yeah,
you.
that's half the battle.
It
is the packaging.
And that's a skill in itself.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I like to say there's like a formula to it. There kind of is, but it's almost a little bit of like an art a little bit too, because like, I don't know, sometimes when you're on like onboarding sessions with some of our webinar clients,
Mhm.
and they've been doing the thing that they're doing for years, and they're talking about the thing, and then the way that they say it, and we run it through our filter of all of our experience and all of our expertise, and we spit out a frame that they would have never thought of.
Yep.
And they're like, that was it.
Yep.
Dude, I've been trying to think of that. That's crazy. And we did it in like 30 minutes.
Yeah. Ultimately, when it comes to this whole thing of webinars, the packaging and the presentation are equally as important,
Definitely.
right?
Third lever to that is the people,
Yeah.
right? Because if you don't got no people in there, then it don't matter how good the packaging or the presentation is.
Yeah.
So those are really the three main levers.
People, packaging, presentation.
That's it. You get those
And
three
then
things dialed in on a webinar, and you can rinse and repeat that thing every single week for as long as you breathe. And it will be, and dude, I get so pumped just thinking about how crazy this whole webinar idea is.
Yeah.
It's literally a sales machine, right?
Yeah.
And I find it really fun when we're like building webinars for people. I feel like, because I actually am, and you are too, building a sales machine and basically integrating it into someone's business.
Yeah.
It's like, I got this business, but my leads are dry. My revenues are roller coaster. It's very unpredictable,
Mhm.
right? And they come to us and we build a sales machine and we put it in like an engine, essentially. And now it's like, now you got this engine, you can rev it up and crank it whenever you want to.
You know what's really fun is when you see that engine working in their business.
It's so cool.
And then they hit you up and they're like, yo, they're like, this is crazy. Like, I'm busy. I'm super busy right now. Like, I can't handle anymore.
And sometimes it's even like the wildest industries too.
Yeah.
Like sometimes, because we've been doing this for a while, so we've done webinars in probably at this point, maybe 30 different industries. I don't know. But there's still a lot more industries. And like one of the most recent ones was one of our students is a psychic.
Yeah.
Literally a medium. And she's a coach though, and she teaches people how to connect with lost loved ones, right? This was an industry I had never worked in before, ever, right? And we build the entire presentation, the funnel, we told her what to say on the ads, the whole thing. Her very first ad, she's getting under $1 per lead per webinar registration.
Crazy.
Her very first webinar, she gets 65 people, I think it was, on her webinar, and she closes 3 people at $9.97. So she spent around, it was around,
She spent like $200.
that's what I was gonna say,
Yeah.
$250, and she made $3,000 on her very first webinar. I don't even know what that is, and like it's probably almost like a 10x return
Yeah.
on her very first webinar. Never done it before. Hopped on, she was super stoked, right? But like that's just what happened that one time.
Here's the thing that I don't want you to just speed over. That was her first webinar,
First one.
bro. Like very first webinar. You know what I'm saying?
And it wasn't perfect. Like there was things happening. There was like, you know, all the little technical stuff happens. And that's the stuff that people I think get scared about. It's like, oh, well, what if this happens? Or what if my text doesn't go out? Dude, her situation didn't happen perfect either.
Yeah, and
right?
that's the thing too. Like seeking perfection can prevent you from your true purpose. And done is better than perfect.
Yeah.
So just get it done. Doesn't have to be perfect, but just do it and fail your way forward, because at least for our students, we have their back. So even if they're struggling, do it anyway.
That's right.
Get it done, because on the other side of that, she made $3,000 in an hour and a half, 2 hours, was messing up throughout the process, still made the money. And here's the thing too. The people that are watching you on the webinar, they don't notice those things.
Yeah, they don't.
They're so focused on you being the authority and getting that transformation. As long as you deliver it the right way, you can get really good results.
That's the big thing that I think that we see the difference between performing on stage as artists, because we used to be music artists,
Yep.
and performing on a webinar, right? When you're performing on stage as a music artist, you're performing music that other people know. So if you mess up the words, they know that you mess up the words.
Yep.
But when you're doing your own webinar presentation, nobody knows your words. Nobody knows your scripts. If you messed up, nobody knows it but you, right?
Nope.
So it's very easy for you to just say, oh, well, screw that up, and pivot and keep going, right? And again,
The
like,
beauty of it.
it's rinse and repeat. Now, hopefully somebody got some clarity from this.
Yeah.
And like, now dial that in. And I'm telling you, the principle of doing a webinar every single week for a year and all your financial worries will go away. I really, truly believe that to be the case, as long as you have the mindset of like improving them, right?
Yeah, and to have that mindset of improving, you need to be able to look at your business from a 30,000-foot view to be able to do that. Because when you're in it, when you're in the webinar doing it every week, it's hard for you to identify things that you're doing wrong, right? Most business owners don't go back and watch their webinars. And I think this is why elite athletes are elite.
Watching tape.
They watch game film to see what their mistakes are. But they not only watch game film, they're in the room with the coach, and the coach is breaking down. See what you did here? You should have went this way and laid it up with your right instead of your left. You know, like they're able to see these things. And while you're watching it, you're able to critique yourself. And ultimately, if business owners were able to do that and had a coach to guide them and show them what to look for too, that can change the game.
You know what's crazy? It's like oftentimes those changes are very minor changes.
Yeah.
They're very subtle things. It reminded me of that time when we had a VIP client and we went out to Dallas, I think it was. And we were driving from the Airbnb and we're on our way to go to the client. And Dallas, like the city is wild. Like the roads are doing this and it's just like this. And it's like literally,
I already know what story you're talking.
I took my eyes off the GPS for like a second and the road goes like this and it splits. And I went this way and I was supposed to go that way. And so literally I made the split judgment call to just go right because I wasn't looking. And I must have turned my wheel like this much. And that small little judgment steer to the right took us in a
Set us back 30 minutes, bro.
Completely different direction, bro.
Yeah.
Now I'm looking at the GPS now. There's not another way for me to turn around for like 15 minutes.
Yeah.
So I got 15 minutes up, turn around, 15 minutes back. That's a 30-minute route, like basically detour that I took because of this. And I thought to myself, I was on my way, when we were on our way back from the detour, I was like, wow, bro, this is just like business. Because in business, you try to do stuff without your eye on the GPS or having someone coach you and teach you, and you make the smallest little adjustment to the wrong way, and you're taking a year detour in your business when it should have taken you a month Now it's taking you 2 years to figure out the same thing.
Yeah, it's the subtle tweaks too. Like if you tweak your business the wrong way, here's the thing. If you don't identify that you messed up and you keep going, you're gonna go further and further off.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
even like, I'm considering that they're even gonna find the problem in the first place.
Yeah.
Some people just keep veering off
Mm-hmm.
and then eventually just quit and go back and live a life of mediocrity. That's what
Yeah.
most people do,
Yeah.
right? Some people eventually figure out, like maybe 5 years down, and after like, wasting so much time and money, they eventually say, you know what, I should probably get a coach.
Yeah.
So it's like what I always tell people to do, just get a coach from the beginning. If I could do it all over, we actually did pretty good though. We got coached from the beginning.
Yeah, I think so. Because
We made a little mistake
we were smart enough to recognize after 3 months,
really quick.
nah, I can't do this, bro.
3 months,
Yeah.
$5,000 spent. We were like, that's enough.
Yeah.
I need a coach. Bring them in,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
But some people are like, nah, more time, more testing, right? So anyway,
Yeah. So with
that-
that being said,
yeah, that is the game right now. If you guys fix one of those things, your webinars are going to start converting.